I know like the tunnel is like a small actual tunnel through here, right? And it was forget about the game. Alt tab to some medical journals.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
but,
yes.
but one quick note: if you're ever experiencing any of those symptoms, just chill out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like because it can start as tendinitis and it can go away if you chill out. But if you keep pushing through it, you can make it worse, a lot worse, and you might go past the point of no return. So, wow. Speaking of point of no return, SK Gaming, they be hitting those headshots. Optic not getting the bomb down just yet. It's really awkward when you're on this side. Oh yeah, nice. Don't know what those noises were.
I haven't heard those before. And I've commentated with you for years then. It's good we can keep surprising each other.
Yeah.
Stanislaw has the bomb and he is leaving this place. But Stewie might be close enough to hear him, perhaps. He could have an angle into the entrance to Yaps. No, he's definitely heard him because he's holding the off angle now. And off he goes, Stanislaw. Off he goes. What the hell? Off he goes into the B-bomb site.
What's new? I didn't see it. Oh.
We could, yeah,
yes.
you two could discuss that.
I can't reach that.
36 seconds and Stanislaw almost feels like he might have been detected here. What's he going to do though? Oh, hello Bolts. Down to 2 HP. Look at the HP on these players. They've got to play the clock. Stanislaw continues to push this. No return for Bolts, the pre-fight, but Stewie's made his way onto the site. There's 10 seconds now, and surely he goes for the plant immediately. And Stewie's there to punish, to capitalize, to exploit.
Yeah, I guess that's one problem. Like, if the other guy's not playing like trade fragging situation, you go for the plant. That's the potential downside of that play, but it's a good defense initially from Cole. It's not so easy when all the Glocks are running at you to connect those headshots, but
gotta choose one target for starters.
Yeah. Hang on, Optic did not get the bomb down, right?
Nope.
They're full ecoing here.
I don't think they did, yeah.
Interesting. So are they gonna force fight next round? Let's get some Khalils and so on. What is the meaning of this? Ooh, that bomb plant was so important. Yeah, that would have really been huge. I mean, look at their money. I mean, this is really interesting. Are they gonna do another full save?
Do you look at the team money stat a lot? I haven't.
Not really.
I never am used to that. So I'm curious if like you could just look at that right away.
On rare occasion, I only look at it towards the end of a round. Like if 2 people are alive, it's interesting to see what the value of what they have is. So it seems it'll be the second round eco buy as opposed to, sorry, the third round eco buy as opposed to the second round full buy. Which I think, was it Sean talking about this yesterday? About certain teams doing the third round buy instead of the second round buy to catch people off guard, and I mean maybe it was inspiring.
But I do think with that though it's really obvious because it's very easy to see if your opponents have, like if you don't see a CZ or a P250 or like you kind of know when you're shooting at someone and they have armor or not. You kind of just know.
Yeah. So
I feel like if you don't see that buy, but you know that there was no bomb plant, you're so suspicious now, and that it should cause a team to play very passively in a round like this to instead of rushing into anything. So I do wonder about it. I don't know. What do you think, Jordan?
I was thinking about something completely separate.
Okay. What was that? Was it?
I'm watching what's happening, so I'm not even paying attention to what you guys are saying. What's the question?
We were just saying that, essentially, from my perspective, it seems very, very telegraphed that maybe there'll be a third round buy. So it's not really a surprise because they didn't buy the second round, but they got the bomb down. They didn't get the bomb down in the first round. So then SK are going to see that and they're going to be like, well, either you're going to do a surprise buy, which is not actually a surprise because we're expecting it, or you're just double saving. So do you...
Yeah, I mean, either way, I was surprised Fallen chose to play close on the balcony. Maybe he was assuming they bought with that type of position. That leads me to believe that. But generally there, you can just play passive kind of standard setup and be fine, so it doesn't, the speculation doesn't really matter at that point.
Just wondering if it's worth it, but quick top mid take anyway. That's a good nade there from Fur, I believe it was, and
yeah, really strong nade.
And Optic are just chilling with their top mid control at the moment, or they try to go further on mids.
So is this a big positional change then for Fur to be a cat player? Because obviously that was always Cold Zero's thing. So I wonder if this is just the nature of like them having all M4s, or what would be really cool is if Stu asked for a flash right there, but he probably would have got one and died, so maybe not so cool. And then a quick note while they're going up cat, watch how, well, they're gonna actually split A here, so I'm not gonna get to make my point, so I'm gonna hold off on that one.
Good
Bosch.
peek. Wow, the timing from SK is very good here. Look how Optic were not even allowed to split. They're just getting picked apart before they can even enter the choke points. They cannot combine their forces. Nice! But still, it's not going to be worth too much there from Shazam. SK, I mean, there's, I guess, two ways you can look at it. Either SK were just very, very smart on their read and their timing, or you can say Optic were too slow. I think it would be the former, to be honest.
I don't know, SK didn't really move that whole half. So I think if they just traded on Stu there, at least then they might have been able to get in the sight, but it was just kind of broken apart.
Fallen had a really good initial pick in pits.
Well then, Optic Gaming need to get the bomb down for show. 3 smokes. 2 lined up towards the jungle connector area. Maybe even a third, who knows? 1, 2, 3. There's the CT smoke from config. My config is read-only. I'll explain why in a second. Smoke's being deployed deep and the push is coming in. The Molotov is too late, unfortunately, for the CTs. The Ts will not be contained. They will spread very quickly indeed. Cold, can he get more than one out of this? No. Fallen picking off plays in the meantime from CT. And a bomb plant looks very unlikely. Cage and B around Sandwich. Players moving through the smoke and the bench. Double peak, basically. And SK are 5-0. Clean sheets.
Yeah.
What's your explanation?
Oh, my read-only config. Well, one of the reasons is because when I'm playing a game that isn't a competitive CS, so when you die and it tells you how much damage you've done, there's a command to print it in the top left corner of the screen, so you don't have to press console. But when my config isn't read-only, when I quit the game, it messes that up for some reason, like turning developer 1 on and stuff like that. So that's one reason. And some other obscure things used to mess up in my config as well, so I made it read-only.
Little positional change here from SK as Bolts is going to be at A. Tollbooth and Fallen with the Op is going to be over there at the jungle. Are they going to expect Cold? No, they're not, but they're still going to get the frag here and put it into a 5-on-3, potentially a 5-on-2 soon if Stu isn't careful. I think that Bolts must have got caught off guard because the play there is for him to get spotted and then flash for Cold and then start fighting with Stu, and then Cold will get to shoot him in the side.
I think Stan has been giving the runaround to Fur for quite some time. Look who Stan is. It's so weird. It's like a completely different, like both Stan and Fur sort of reacting just to like a completely different rounds. Just very, very odd.
Fur somehow always finding his way into the other team's base. It's pretty uncanny, actually.
Yeah, you may very well get some kills here. There's one. It's very fast. Dodges the off shot from the Palace position. Can he stay alive? That would be remarkable. Do they want to challenge him? My God, he's actually going to stay alive in this position. I respect the spray there to cover him as the timer runs out. 5-1, Optic picking up their first round, but they need to do better than that. They got to string some rounds together. SK's economy is still okay. Oh, Fur's got the, he's got the Howl. He's got that contraband. Howl is a contraband, right? Contraband
It is,
one.
yes,
Okay.
it's contraband. Yes, it is. It continues to rise in price.
How much is it now?
Well, I bought one for $7-ish hundred. I sold it for, I think, $1,100, and I think now it's at least $1,500.
Nice.
So, it gets rarer and rarer. Some people who buy it and get banned for whatever reason as well. So they become even more sparse. Stanislaw traded towards the B bomb site. The only man there, Fallen, moving towards the B bomb site just in case, but I think Fur's brave enough to have a look and see that no one else appears to be in the vicinity. Stewie holding a line in the crack of the wall. Just while there's a double peek next to him, he must have heard the footsteps falling off, but Shazam saves the day, saves the bacon.
Covering his teammate. It's always a good feeling. You know you got your back covered. And Cold Zero is alone. He's isolated. He's got to do something pretty special to survive in this position. I think a couple kills would go a very long way, so that's perhaps maybe the best case. We'll see. He actually gets a really clean 1v1. Able to stay alive, though, past that, but it's Foe with excellent adjustment to the player up in the Palace position. Almost a 90-degree flick there. Looks so calm and confident. Foe with a quad kill. This guy is just way too good at this game.
He's got that real confidence and almost like, you know how you fake it till you make it confidence. Like, in both scenarios, anytime I watch him when he does something, even if I'm like, oh, this is not a smart play, like, somehow the fact that he's so committed to every time he does it, it always seems to, like, kind of work out in his favor a little bit more than you expected. Even when it doesn't go fully as planned, he'll get, like, a dink off or get a little extra damage in or get a kill he shouldn't. And
he's sneaky.
Ever since he came onto the scene. He was, right when they first came to North America, I was like, I remember scrimming them when they were at Games Academy and like, kind of just like popping my head back in my chair when I remember scrimming Overpass where he just was like annihilating us. But like, yeah, anyways, not enough good things to say.
Yeah, absolutely. It was it's been pretty impressive watching his performances. He's a very special player. That's another reason why I love Counter-Strike, you know, at the professional level, like the way the skill ceiling is mechanically and otherwise, decision making too. You actually, it allows for a lot of diversity between players and styles, and Foe is a thing of by himself, as are many of the very top players, and that's so good to see. If you can't differentiate between the pros, kind of sucks, I think, to watch, but thankfully we don't have to worry about that in Counter-Strike. But enough about that, we do have a push into A being set up. Optic with the set piece.
Oh, a little too high on the molly, but it's not going to worry. But if it doesn't hit, that is going to cause them to be a little bit more concerned about default. Cold Zero with the unique spot here, getting flashed last second.
Fallen again. Search. Oh my god! Seriously, dude. Seriously. That's absolutely ridiculous. Anything that moves on the screen is swatted. Shazam taking big damage. Slowly, Bolts makes his way towards CT. Slowly, Stewie moves up the ramp.
Doing his best Fur impression as he plays the ramp. But unnecessary as Bolt gets the final two. Dude, yeah, Fallen. Wow. That's what I'm talking about.
Wow,
he is like Kenny S is probably the only person I see do as much. Like Guardian, obviously one of the most impactful operators in the world. There's other operators as well that are super impactful. But like Fallen, Kenny, I don't know, like they just, literally anything appears on the screen and it looks like they're not ready and they somehow...
The crazy thing too is just that, you know, the way the set piece works, it's supposed to really deny any position on the site. And obviously there was one missed Molotov, but the timing was delayed ever so... I think the timing of the push was a little bit too delayed, and a Cold did miss his fragging opportunity. So then, you know, Fallen is trying to commit himself with Cold to try to get frags to stop the push, because otherwise, you know, they would commit to a retake setup. It's something I really like about SK. You don't tend to see stuff that doesn't really make sense. If you see someone in the position, it just makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone's on the same page. They're thinking about, we're going to defend the A push as it comes in as opposed to going for a retake. Which, by the way, they're probably the best team, one of the best teams in the world at as well. Like retaking A on this map, they're so good at it.
So patient and use their nades. And that's what we were talking about, like using your nades properly for retake. They're like the perfect clinic usually. Yeah. When you watch them use their nades, it's so calculated. And
it's so scary to actually try to like run a set piece like straight away at the start of the round against them when they have those full grenades, but
it's funny because I think one of the only reasons we ever had success versus them on Mirage was because we just studied everything they did and literally copied it. And so when I was lurking T-side versus Fur, I would like camp TV room as my team's taking out A. And then I would just like hear him push mid or like catch him pushing upper B. But like that was the only team I did that versus because it's just like we had studied him so much. If you're not aware, he's the guy. Fur's doing some flank later than anyone ever would.
Yeah.
And then Fallen's holding some angle that you would never expect, so you jiggle it for info, and he just hits the op shot. It was amazing.
Ooh, goodbye.
It's a good pick by Shazam there to abuse a normal-looking strat.
1-3-1 for the T's at the moment. Presence towards Palace and towards B apartments. Config taken out by Connector. Standard position for the T's, expected of the by the CTs rather. Always interesting to see the approach on A. Fallen keeping an eye on Palace. Nobody with him to cover the ramp. And limited exposure to Connector for the CTs, so maybe Fallen getting aggressive So he has more information and is in a relatively safer position. And that forward position can allow SK to be closer towards the B bomb site. They've got 2 players in the ladder room. Can they get around to B fast enough? Bolts is on his own, and he may have quite late information because of the position he's playing. Unless he gets cues from some grenades. Here comes the charge. Immediately out is Stanislaw. Look at that jump. That's crazy. But they don't know how many people are here. And will they even go for this? 3 versus 4. Seems a boost is in order, but surely KGB trades worst case scenario.
So yeah, just some exits for SK. This one for Colt. Pretty clean. Now first turn. I mean, they're looking for it, surely. Ooh, Gate still almost lost that fight. Big advantage on for him, but we'll see that, you know, they'll only get 1 frag in the end. That's an okay result. That said, Colt is still lurking around. See if we can catch someone. He won't find anyone though. So round will go to Optic, and 2 rounds. A mere 2 rounds. Stewie is so scary as a player. I feel like it's going to be really interesting to follow him in this team. It's still getting used to it. It's very strange still.
Well, I mean, yeah. Jordan was saying it's surreal. He's kind of like a spy, considering they would marvel at the thought process of SK. Now he's kind of in there as part of it.
Yeah.
He's a Russian spy with a polonium 210. Another execute into the B bomb site, intending to be a fast one, but maybe they've got to respect the Molotov.
What is that?
That is ridiculous.
What is that?
That was his own Molotov.
Yeah, but it was upstairs, apart from that little corner, exactly where he was standing.
Yeah.
If he took 1 step, he would have been out of any part of his Molotov. That is very bizarre.
What?
And he's got to be annoyed with that. It was such a small area.
Should we have a replay of that? That molly? Let's get a replay of that if you can. No, okay, maybe not. Oh, like, okay, they couldn't see it. Okay, that's fine. Didn't want to see it anyway. That was really weird though. It's like just like 1 tiny patch.
That's like there's an admin on the server who just put some kind of
yeah.
You could say this player is going to explode in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
That's that kind of thing. That was crazy, man.
It's so strange. I do wonder how the round would have played out. It's so weird. It's like an act of God. Divine intervention to give Optic a helping hand in taking the B bomb site. And 3 rounds on the board now for them. They are starting to get the ball rolling, but SK, they still got some buys. They still got the double orbs, most importantly. I'm curious whether SK will mix things up from an aggression perspective, but with the double orbs, maybe that's not too likely.
Stu's always loved opping near connector. Fallen looks like he's doing that right now. Stu's taking a little pick hauls, and Shazam a little too ready for that. Looks like Shazam might have hit a little like B-hop or something. He landed pretty smooth. See, like those flashes, I don't know. I guess it's not terrible. I feel like sometimes those flashes though, like if I'm cold, it kind of tells me it could be falling back, but I guess it doesn't matter if they don't stream the B hit.
And Bolts will toss in the counter grenades to try to slow down the rush, but Optic Gaming are deterred.
Oh, that was weird.
Am I going crazy? Did I just hear Rick Astley?
What?
I just heard in my
No,
earphones.
I didn't hear it.
No.
You're being Rick rolled
Someone Rick.
by your soul.
You start staring at me.
There it is again. Why am I getting trolled? What's happening? What's going on?
I don't know, Dan.
Let's keep hearing.
Coldzera and Fur are leaving the B area. And that's going to be round number 4 for Optic Gaming. So it seems they are on the comeback. I'm sitting on all my cables. I'm going to remove this. This is a pain. Okay, there we go. Just get rid of this stuff.
I don't know what's going on.
Are you serious?
I'm very serious, yeah. Rick Astley was playing in my headphones.
I don't know.
Someone knows. Everyone's acting like they don't know, but one person must know. I'm paranoid now. I'm looking behind me.
Both teams are on the buy. There's a tactical timeout here from SK Gaming. They've got lots of money in the bank, but how do they get back to winning ways? That is the question. Second AWP, that might be the answer.
Oh man. So it's going to be interesting to see whether SK will actually do anything different here to put the pressure on Optic. So far, I think they've been pretty happy to play passive. But here it is. Get the mid push. This is what I'm after. So Stewie's going to be up there with the rifle. Just boys go all the way in. Or maybe not. In fact, Colt, I thought he was... That was strange. It seemed like...
I don't know why, if he quick switched because he thought he was going to run away, but he kept his gun out. Yeah, something happened. A little
it's
miscomm.
Like his teammate committed to the peak, and he was supposed he had the spacing to follow, but then he just turned
away.
He
got blind. He got blind by the first flash, and I think he thought the flash was going to last longer than it did.
Oh.
So he was just like, all right, I'm going to run away blind. Then he got unblind, and then he's like, I'm going to do this, but then he doesn't sure if his team's fighting, so he doesn't want to overcommit. And
right.
I think he was just kind of like awkward.
Well, it's now down to this 2 orbs and an M4 here for SK Gaming as Optic charge up the B. Catwalk and Bolts is going to be in a great position, and combined with Further, maybe to hold this. Really good work from First so far, finding a headshot no less onto Shazam with the AWP, but someone snuck past. Stanislaw has made it through onto the bomb site and takes down Fur, leaving Fallen. The 1v2 is doable. I mean, yet to go down, in fact. You can see Fallen knows he has a lot of time. He doesn't have to rush this.
Ooh, this might be a long rotation. Well, it's a gamble.
He's kind of playing slow just for that 1 kill, because if you can catch someone, then you can kind of get wild with your movement and just make jumps and hope that they kind of like don't headshot you instantly and you can get the second one, but...
Oh! They lined up for him. Does he realize? Does he realize? Oh my god, but he still doesn't have a kit. He needs to find a kit. I think there's a kit on the floor, actually. Right to his left. Oh my god, that would have been ridiculous.
Oh my god. That's like the one way that's like one of the few ways he wins the round.
Yeah.
That's insane. It's insane that they that he actually got like a leg on the second guy. In fact, they didn't just get a collateral.
I guess they yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? The guy in front No,
I guess the first guy...
I don't think it was a leg. I think he just straight up...
Yeah, it was a torso. And the first guy got hit first.
Maybe
didn't die.
Did he hit him like the elbow? Is there elbow damage in this game?
What is that?
Maybe it clipped the wall or something, or...
That is weird.
Maybe.
Well, KGB is going to be able to open things up towards the A bomb site, but that leads them into Fur, who's been having a great time with the AWP, so that's going to send them all the way back. Very quick 3v3 in this round. And, like, where is the money again for these teams? Is this a 2-for-1? No. Okay. So, well, for SK, they're quite poor. Optic can definitely take a hit and still be able to buy into that final round. This is pretty rough for the CT side, because you sort of have to spread out passively like this or take a really big risk and go for a push. Other solution is to stack somewhere. And I imagine you would stack B if that was a choice that you wanted to make. But they are just having a 1-1-1 set up here. Play for information. Let's see how it goes for SK. 35 seconds.
I like this because that smoke at top connector dictates like a B hit, but they're in a position to creep through A smoke, so they're just kind of pinching A with that smoke. Like normally you would think that you have to go cat or some weird... what? Didn't?
Ooh, he's still moving. Still moving, but he's seen the bomb surely. Full rotation coming in. Oh, he was close to it, but not quite. 10 seconds to plant this bomb, and Cold Zero maybe the king piece. Nope, he'll be taken out.
Wonder if he meant to jump right there.
Bomb has been planted. Bolt's inferior weaponry. Does Gage choose to face? Hiding behind default towards Shadow.
He saw his shadow too. I don't know if he realized.
Surprised he didn't pick up the AK and just try to like outdraw his opponent, but I guess the MP9 does allow you to get close to the crates. Maybe it's...
Yeah, well, I think when you get blind too, that creates a sense of like maybe he's close triple now, maybe he's close left. And if you get caught trying to swap weapons right there by the toll booth, you get tagged up to the box or something. A new top mid smoke.
Last
Another
round
one
of the
those
first half.
Flashes.
Pardon?
No, Shazam's throwing a couple just random flashes like that towards A ramp, which Shazzy's my boy, but I'm just curious why he flashes. Maybe it replicates something they do on a default. I don't know. Just seems like a waste of a flash, but love you, Shaz.
Walking up the short position, having heard nothing. Oh, he sees a foot, he sees an arm. Can fall back enough for KGB to be unable to trade.
Like, so
Shows
like,
us there are more tricks up his sleeve.
He's nuts. Absolutely crazy. Just pushing Catwalk with the AWP.
The best part is that like Fallen's rifling like aggro palace, like a Fur style play. Fur's opping off Cat like Cold. Cold's toll booth or B, and I don't even know what Cold is. Yeah, toll booth. Like everything we know about SK is getting flipped on its head right now.
And that will be to their advantage in the long term. Struggling to prepare for SK is struggling to win a match for sure. Stanislaw ringing the bell of bolts now. 2 versus 3 as they try to cross to the site. Cold Zero spots one. He knows he's still over there. Perhaps he can try for some erratic timing, spraying through the smoke, although of course he can be punished even more. Fur continues with the AWP and he knows the last player isn't too far away. 9-6 in favor of SK Gaming. Got a crucial pistol round coming up now.
I mean, Optic are doing pretty well, all things considered. I honestly, like, imagine having to deal with this in almost every round. Just, you know, Fur just taking these crazy pushes all over the place, and he's just so damn good.
I think Agent B thought he was in connector, the way he was facing.
I guess that would be sort of, I guess, the first place you would expect. Okay, well, this is pretty standard here. No one P250ing though. I'm sad on this T side, that is. Oh, whoa. Okay, 3 men jumping into the underpass.
Yes, you don't see that very often. It obscures your vision.
Is that I just see like an accidental run boost or something. Why was Fur like flying through the air? Shazam! What did we say? Somehow he's just nuts. Oh, dude, I thought he was going to get that one for sure. But he's so steady with the pistols.
Well, now it's Stewie's 2K's turn. 3 targets for him, but he won't get anything done as CTs are going nuclear in this round. SK, Cold Zero versus 3 more players. The bomb is on A. Steve Stanislaw wants to creep through the crawl space. Ooh, nice, but surely this can't be done.
A piss around after all, it's Cold Zero, but no, he does get denied. And Optic will win a very critical pistol. But SK, will they do a crazy full save into sort of a weird half buy, or are they going to go force buy as per the usual? Looks like that would be the case. We get the scout outs, pistol armor. No one's saving any cash there for SK. And that on the T side is absolutely A-okay.
The Molotov in the window is really cool. You very rarely see that these days in a professional match. I suppose it will allow you to charge through mid faster than a smoke grenades. You could, if you wanted to make a cat play into B, you could bounce a flash off the back wall, so if somebody was holding the angle towards ladder room, they would be blind as well. Optic trying to hold things down here on the A site. The bomb's being picked up on the ramp, and Cold Zero's in the underpass for the time being, but the bomb's moving away from A, which is very curious indeed. It may be a joint effort in the middle area, but where will they ultimately end up? Bolts is still lurking in the palace position for now, where there are 3 CTs and a passive position for config. In case the rotation is needed, we can see these Optic players are heavily tagged, which might have something to do with it.
Yeah, there's 3 players that will die from a single deagle chest shot, so that's actually so scary. SK Gaming are in an amazing position, and Fallen's actually moving into the B-bomb side. There is a player in the shop. I think that's the only healthy is that?
Yep.
Yeah, oh no, Stanislaw, I think, no? And now also Config is moving in there as well. Stanislaw will get the kill. Bolts, though, opens things up towards the A side, but they must have spotted the bomb towards B. Indeed, they have. They start to rotate. Cold0 might be able to catch one. Oh! The only healthy player shot straight in the dome. Now Cold0 can start to press on the shot position with the aid of Bolts as they move. They must move very quickly. There's so little time. Jumping around the corner with the M4 gets the headshot, no less. Stanislaw hiding desperately, praying that they don't have time to plant the bomb. And it is being collected. 7-6 should be enough time, just about to get it down, but the spray was really nicely done by Stanislaw there. It's not easy with the FAMAS, but he makes it work.
Still, keeping only one guy alive there was good job by SK. You know, now it's going to go 9-all, but going into the next couple gun rounds, if SK is able to get the gun round, Optic's money is not going to be in a great place. For now, time to farm some ecos.
Bosh.
Bish bosh.
Bish bash bosh, actually.
Bish bash bosh. Time to collect the dosh.
No grenades for these Ts. 1 CZ and 4 Glocks. That buy sucks. Even if you threw your Glock away at the end of the last round, you get one for free. Although if you threw it away at the beginning of the round and wanted to buy one, it would cost you $200. $200.
Greenbacks.
What does one talk about while we wait for this action to happen?
Who's going to get the fat stacks as SK push up the pit position?
Fat stacks in the rib shack. Fat stacks and fat mats rib shack, which is in Atlanta. Jason Lake recommended I go there. I still haven't been there.
I still want to dive that aquarium.
Maybe opportunities in the future, Jordan. Jordan Gilbert.
Ah, it's Cajun B. He's getting all the fat stacks
In a rib shack
of the greenbacks
with fat
Click
mat.
clack.
as he defends the attack.
Ready
From
to
the
go
back. From the back.
Could have got more, but unfortunately there was a
Hit-
click clack as he
and he
ran
hit
out
the
of
sack.
bullets.
Took their heads and played some hacky sack.
Dan
Jordan,
ran
and
out
he's
of
trying to
steam.
rap. Let's start this.
Trying to rap on the track. It's Jordan, he's
Let's
back
go,
in the
Dan.
studio.
Blat blat, the sounds of my gat.
The rhymes and the beats, not something Jordan lacks as he commentates CSGO.
With the
You know
crack.
that brother's got the
2
mad
K
flow.
with the act, trying to get some kills on connector, and he falls straight back. 4v3 first taking A.
That ain't bad,
the
Jordan. I
freestyle,
should get
but
you
we-
on my track.
Kind of.
We should collaborate.
I honestly just want to see the rap cover for our collaboration. I don't really care about the music
rap
itself.
cover, yeah. We get James on there with the shoes. Bolts. Bringing it home.
I thought you were
Hold
gonna
on.
rap that. I was ready. Volt with the AK like a jolt. I can
Oh,
see
man.
Dan being like a Weird Al Yankovic. Yankovic.
I would never want to see that.
Wow.
That's just that image is scary to
I
me.
want you to support your friend, all right?
Yeah, man. Why can't you support? Why you got to hate?
I'm
Why you
not
got to
a hater.
berate?
Segregate,
Yeah, James.
not appreciate.
I'm out.
It's too late.
KGB with a flash, but it's late. Now he's gonna get traded because he's not. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, the very, very fast push from SK going for that quick A hit. The smokes will prevent Optic from getting through, and Cole's going to push it actually. A late CT smoke there is going to prevent Stanislaw from doing too much. He'll get a single frag, but it's going to be pretty tough to do much more than that. They do have Config trying to get a cheeky third frag, but it's going to be difficult as SK not offering anything up, and so a save is definitely the call here.
Config's knife and glove combo's very pretty.
Configs, where is he?
Configs.
Let's have a look. Where the config at? Oh,
There
great.
it is. Look at it.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice.
Looks nice.
So gaming going into the 11-9 here. I'm curious, Config gonna try to keep the op, or is he gonna give it to Shazam? Config's definitely got the aim for it. Just gonna hold on to that.
And Bosch.
Bish to the bash to the Bosch.
So I saw 2 grenades being thrown. Oh, it's the Bosch. The fast
B-split.
yeah, the fast B split. I love me some fast B split. The second smoke to stop or make it harder for him to shoot if they are in the connector position. The flashbang is there though. Stanislaw, he is running out of bullets already. He's got down to 15, and they will go quickly with the MP9. No kills for him.
Good control though to try to get one. Not to over peak early and get scared with the numbers. The whole team looks like there, and Stu is able to call that out. As one more is in, and now it's just down to Cajun B.
Nice. This is very much that kind of Danish anti-eco type round. Like one guy up cat, everyone else just rushing the B apps.
If I remember correctly,
Yes.
that B split was a Fnatic strat, which Fnatic did to the old Optic team, who did it to SK, who just did it to the new Optic team.
I mean, in a certain sense, everyone kind of has a B split like that nowadays. One thing I liked SK just did is they cleared underpass. A lot of teams just kind of like, go, upper B. But they weren't really, they didn't really hit that gear until their guys were up cat. One guy checked underpass, and then the other 2 are just trailing, which is, you know, on a gun round, that spacing could be more detrimental. But the fact that the op didn't do much damage was fine. But yeah, I like that they cleared that. It could have, like if you get into a fight and the balcony guy gets a kill or something, and there's a guy on B app's balcony, and then the rotate comes in, you get caught fighting, that underpass guy could lose you the round, you know?
Right, yeah.
So it's good they just got a quick clear. And 12-9 going the gun rounds, all M4s on Optic and all 8Ks on SKG. So a pure CS round coming up.
Okay, he's going to get a bit aggressive. He's got some support as well. He'll go for a deep push, but unfortunately for him, there's not too much to fight over. It looks like, oh, Cold Zero appears. He's the only man there, and he's doing massive amounts of damage. Spots the next one as well. Might even have the advantage on the peak. His teammates decide that since they see 2 in mid, they're going to push up the pit straight into the A site and absolutely savage the defense. That is nuts.
Fur's over here playing PUBG. He said, give me the loot. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. Notorious B.I.G. cue the song.
Very good, very good.
I love that SK there. They see the mid. Cold Zero works out mid push. That's when the A hit happens. They realize that they're not going to have people in position to deny us just a straight run into the site. That's actually something that I noticed that from a communication perspective, because people don't have the protocols sometimes in some of the more amateur levels that they sort of miss out on. There's like some very big tells. But if there's more CTs in one location than there should be, that means the other location, you've got players there. That's the time to go. So pretty simple.
Pretty simple. That's something that James would be yelling at over in matchmaking. Guys, A is obviously clear. That's why every time I love playing matchmaking.
I lost the match for once today. Matchmaking.
First loss ever.
For once?
Yeah. Oh, matchmaking I win most of my matches.
I was going to say last the FACEIT streak is not... Is that,
It's
have you repaired
it's up and down. It's very rocky.
Have you repaired it?
Repair is always temporary. It will break again. It's like a Chinese building. It's going to collapse eventually.
Because I remember the last time I heard you talking about it, was like you said 14 losses in a row or something, which...
I repaired that, but then it just like, I just can't win it enough.
The crazy thing
to
me is that's like such a massive, that's like a 14-hour time investment of no mistakes. That's like to repair that. That's
yeah, that's crazy.
I was like, I'd be like, screw that. Oh, CZ's doing damage.
Yes, but that's a perfect lineup for Cold Zero. It's almost like he wills it just by being so good. There was a huge gap in that smoke. There's something to look at in the future, or maybe it was deliberate to put him in that position. Though I'd be surprised. Another round in the bag for SK. 3 players surviving, and there's a full buy for Optic.
It's going to take some time, I think, for SK to get the full fear factor back. I think the longer they're a team, you know, everyone knows Stewie's a great player, but I think the longer they're a team and a unit, it's going to be less about the change in any individual on the team. It's going to be back to SK factor. But when you played him in the past, it wasn't that you were necessarily scared of just Cold or Fallen or Fur. It was that they were so good that you knew that any of them were ready to be activated. It wasn't just some set piece or some strat. You knew Fallen was going to prod you with an op. Fur might be flanking. Taco is ready to just get that one kill that will win them the whole round. And you know, and Stu has that same ability, of course, to be explosive. And so it's the more they have time, the more that's going to be interesting to see how this roster move actually works out. Because
Yeah, it's really interesting. Also due to the fact that, like, if they can, I mean, the question I think first is like the first couple months, like the communication, like it's got to be tough
for sure.
And so if they can somehow get past that hurdle, it's gonna be really cool to see what styles of play, you know, Fallen and the rest of the team decide like works. That's completely new because of Stewie being there, because he is so good. And he is so versatile and so aggressive. I think they could do some really interesting stuff just by the notion of Stewie being there.
And the second that stuff starts like getting dialed in more, even if they're still working on things, people are gonna start fearing it even more and more. Because I think right now people have this like new confidence versus SK, like, oh, like, yeah, they might not be so good right anymore. Like, they're still working on stuff. Like, that's gonna slowly fade for the tier 2 teams, and I think the SK gap will go. But it is interesting to watch like FaZe now. What's gonna happen with them? Then is Astralis gonna be, you know, like the next major can be wild.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts. Buy your tickets now.
Buy your tickets now.
Buy your tickets now.
Fur can hear that Shazam is on short with a sniper, although he probably thinks he's looking into mid rather than the angle he's holding to B. So that may be some false information being sold. I'm sure Shazam isn't exposing himself to a potential position for Fur here. Fur almost being, oh, that's how bizarre is that? Almost being baited into walking through that to try and pick off the short play he heard, and kills Cajun B instead. Looking over the smoke, covering his teammate on Cat. So what a bizarre turn of events, and now Bolts is charging out, and SK might be looking good here for the match point.
Yeah, it's looking really good. They've got the bomb site, they've got the 4v2. Shazam and Config gonna have a really hard time. Well, Shazam now needs to try to save this AWP. I would imagine he has no interest in going for this, as the bomb now is taking away on the site. And Shazam is waiting. Has a nice vantage point, or he did, to pick off anyone aggressing into CT, but keep that AWP alive. Look at the money. It sucks. The money is dry. No greenbacks. No stacks of cash for him anyway. Maybe he's got a few dollar bills.
Match point coming up for SK Gaming. Slowly creeping on Shazam are these players, and the creep gets more urgent, more apparent. They went up for the AWP. They don't need to pick it up. They can just buy another one. So the AK would be cheaper. That was monstrous, considering how that round opened up for them. Almost, in some ways, by chance. In that, to me, Fur was trying to pick off the short player. He was actually not looking short, but looking into B, and was the solo B player. And I don't know, it's just crazy, man.
The way he got the connector kill, you're talking
Yeah,
about?
but that's going to be really frustrating for Optic as well. And hilarious because it's Fur, and they just think it's Fur things. He's just not respecting the smoke anyway. And it's awesome to watch, though. One of my favorite players.
Yeah, it's actually kind of nuts. Again, once everyone on the team is super comfortable with the roles they're playing, and it's just like an obvious thing in like a month or so, maybe 2. It's going to be kind of insane kinds of stuff they'll be capable of. Hopefully we get to see that, and hopefully it all works out for them. Optic as well. I mean, they're a team that has a lot of potential, considering that I would never have thought this lineup could do anything together. But just Stanislaw really ties it all together. It's going to be a really good boost to his career, I think, if he can make this team work. I think people need, he should have more respect.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the result is, because that's going to give me a clearer picture of how he in-game leads, even though I've never been under him, so I won't know for sure.
Yeah.
But it's curious, because one of the gripes I would have with what I've heard about is his style is that he is kind of like a one-man leader show, like Sean. And sometimes the problem with that can be your players kind of just rely on you for almost their thinking, right? In general. And so the idea with Optic is hopefully that he can do kind of a fall-in approach where he gets everyone a lot more empowered. So I'm curious to see if he's going to accomplish that. You know, you can be successful with both approaches, but it does seem the more consistent approach is, you know, getting everyone more individually empowered. And, you know,
like
it
that.
sounds great. The way I say it sounds eloquent, but it's not easy, you know, like to do. So it's not like it's just an accident. So I'm curious.
That's a great talking point, but push will come into the A side. SK want to finish things off, but they're not having the easiest time. Cajun B still in position at the top of the ladder above Shadow as Shazam makes his way around, trying to grind down these SK players, but it's proving troublesome. Config, a Danish star, let's see what he can do. The AKs are all over the place. Config able to get some damage in here, but he's getting sprayed down, and that's going to be that 16-9 SK Gaming. They will win Mirage with a deadly show of force.
Yeah, that was a fun game of Mirage. Got to see lots of individual plays, lots of doing his thing as per usual. But I think it's fair to say even in defeat, Optic looked promising for the future. A lot of these international lineups seem to be solidifying now and looking better. Obviously, they're watching the history of the King Winter FaZe team. A very long time for that to develop into something, but there is definitely promise here for Optic Gaming. So it's a better run of things now for SK, with some victories in the bag. Obviously, it didn't start so well for them, but they take 2 victories away today. So again, I think they only had 4 games played, so they can definitely change the tide of things, change their fortunes around. So we'll see how that develops as well. For at the top of the leaderboard there, 24 kills for only 10 deaths. Most kills on the server, least deaths on the server. That is a problem if you're not SK.
He was doing some crazy pushes. I mean, I say, okay, he was doing some fur pushes. I can't call them crazy. It's what he does.
Fur, yeah.
It's just what he does, yeah. And again, just like when he starts pushing and just finding these crazy angles, like the catwalk on for me was just, that feels like, that feels crazy, doesn't it? It's like
you don't see that done with an AWP.
That.
You see it done with a rifle, but not with an AWP.
I look at that play and if I didn't see the name, I'd probably think Oscar. If I didn't see the name, because I think Oscar's crazy as well.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Fur definitely seems to be someone who's maintained his level of comfort through these changes. And like that plays back to the earlier conversation. It's going to be interesting to see when everyone finds that comfort zone. Even Cold, I mean, Cold's still confident and he still has his plays, but I think Cold very much builds kind of his plays around what's happening on his team. Because, you know, everyone talks about Cold has these like set up plays on CT side. He kind of finds his schemes and stuff. And so he's got to work those out still with the new lineup. And but yeah, Fur just always around the map, and it looks random, looks like he's just pushing, but there's always a method.
Cloud9 versus Complexity will be our next 2 matches. That is coming up after a short break, so stay tuned. We will be back very shortly for our last 2 matches of North America today.